All right, fifth grade. Today we are going to continue working on our tic-tac-toe projects. Hopefully at this point you have the background colors on your tic-tac-toe board and your pieces. And you're starting on second or third layers depending on where you were last time. So today, the first thing you need to do, if you plan to do it, is to add details. I highly, highly recommend, like I said last time, that you sketch on any small details that you plan on painting today with a pencil first. That's because if you just paint it and you make a mistake, there's no way to erase that paint, and we can't paint over it today while it's still wet to fix it. So it's much better to kind of sketch it on with pencil. If you make a mistake with the pencil, it's easy to touch that up and paint over it. So the first thing you'll want to do today is just sketch on any little details that you plan on drawing. And then if you plan to draw any of those details with paint markers, we have limited colors: black, white, gold, and silver. That's all we have right now. But we also have Sharpies. However, a colored Sharpie is not going to look as its true color if you draw it on top of a background color that's not white. So I would only use a Sharpie if you're drawing on a white background. Otherwise, I would use the markers or just use a little detail brush to try to paint it. So anything that you plan on drawing or outlining, you can use the paint marker for. For example, if I wanted to make something really precise, like a letter, a number, or a straight line, I can gently use my paint marker, being careful not to tear it up on the clay, to draw in the little question mark on my Mario box there. Then the rest of that, since it needs to be yellow, I can paint around it. Remember, these paint markers can only draw on top of dry paint. And when I say dry paint, I mean paint from last week, not anything that you paint on today. Any mixing you'll do in your paint palette. Try not to add any water to those colors. And everybody needs to get at least one tiny detail brush like this one for painting things like edges or details. But if you do have large areas, of course, you can pick larger brushes as well. And I'm going to paint my second layer on top here today. If you finish early and you haven't worked on your Canva card yet, this is the little card that's going to go inside of your bag with your pieces. And a lot of you have already turned these in to me. The directions for these are on the board. You would need your laptop for those, but remember, that's not a priority. That's kind of an extra thing you can work on if you get to a stopping point on your painting today where you can't go any further. Remember not to add more than one layer at a time, meaning once I've painted this layer, unless I'm going to go over it with the same exact color, I need to wait until next time to add any other details. For example, if I wanted to outline my white question mark with a Sharpie or a pen, because this paint is wet today, I need to wait until next time to go back and do that. Hopefully by the end of art today, you have a second layer on everything. That means your tic-tac-toe board and your pieces. And just a reminder, your tic-tac-toe board only needs to be painted on the top and the side, but your pieces need to be painted on both sides. So if you did leave the bottom of those white last week, you can flip them and paint that first coat on the back before you add details on the front.